He's Josh.
And she's Jazz.
And you've just tuned into The Conversation.
So, Jazz, it's the second show.
Yeah.
And you just scored a pretty big interview with...
I did. Josh Pastner, the head coach for the Memphis basketball team.
So, why don't you toss our audience over?
Let's check it out. I'm sitting here with Coach Josh Pastner, head coach for the Memphis Tigers basketball team. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm fine. I know with basketball and having to be in so many different places, it's hard to have time for yourself. So how's that going for you? Do you have time for yourself?
Well, I do the best I can. It's not an easy thing. Your time, the responsibilities,
Right.
because obviously you have, I've got a family, but my team is, the team
Right.
is my family too.
Exactly.
So you have a lot of responsibilities to not only your immediate family, but also to the team family in a
Right.
sense that. The mother, father, the legal guardian who entrusted you to look after their son. So you have responsibilities in doing that.
You have more than one child, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So how is the new baby girl?
The new baby girl is terrific. She's 5 months today, October 27th.
Yay.
Yeah, 5 months today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, exactly. And she's, I love being around her. It's the miracle of life, and it's an amazing thing. So it's been a blessing. I love getting home and seeing her and all that.
You have anything special planned for today?
No, I was gonna maybe on the way home buy her a little stuffed animal.
Of course,
or something.
yeah.
But I really have had a good time. In the morning seeing her and at night and spending time with her. It's been fun.
Okay, that's wonderful. So this season, you've gotten 7 new recruits. What do they all individually bring to the table?
Well, to be honest with you, we got 8 new players.
8, okay.
Yeah, because 7 high school kids, and then 1 kid transferred from the University of New Orleans and Charles Carmouche. So we got 8 new players, which really is a brand new team. I mean, the whole thing is a brand new team, and each guy brings something differently.
Right.
Each one has their strengths. Obviously, some have their weaknesses, and it's my responsibility to put everyone on the floor together.
Right.
To maximize their strengths, maximize their potential, making sure I put them in positions to succeed, improve their weaknesses.
Right.
But that's, and we talk a lot about chemistry. And, what is chemistry? That word gets loosely thrown around. And chemistry is something where you're having, player relationships, development within. I mean, with the team having relationships with each other, trusting each other and knowing each other's background, and not just on the court stuff.
Because, that's important.
It's important.
Playing together.
No question. I mean, that accepting challenges.
Right.
I mean, that is something that is important within chemistry. I mean, if you're going to be challenged, whether it's from the coach, could be someone from the outside, could be within your own teammates, recovering from mistakes, and that's part of chemistry. How are you when you maybe we take a loss or things aren't going so well? How do you recover from that? And also, being able to execute directions that are told upon you, whether it's again within a game, outside of athletics, whatever it may be. But again, chemistry is defined not when things are going really well, but it's when you hit a rough patch.
Exactly. Can
have
you
an
stay
obstacle.
together?
Can you stay together? Can you stay united? Are you unified through some tough times?
Well, I was also going to say, you are dealing with a lot of, not children, but they're kind of like your children. How do you deal with so many different personalities?
I think that's one of the big, I think, parts of coaching. Everyone thinks you're just coaching and you're just doing strategy, game planning, but it's not. That's so little of it. You're really managing egos, personalities, managing people on an everyday basis. You're really a CEO of a company because, like it or not, I mean, the basketball program is a business. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar business, and you're a CEO because you're a CEO with your players, with the staff, with the university. I'm not the president of the university, but you're a key figure as in terms of not importance, but of visibility.
Exactly.
Of visibility. So you are out in the community. So you're really a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, you're managing people.
Right. Is it hard to deal kind of with that pressure? Everyone's always looking to you for any situation. It's you. How do you deal with that pressure?
Well, it's funny you say that. I was actually listening to radio this morning. They were talking about when you're, and again, I say this with this isn't, and I say this before I even get to this point. I recognize the person sitting in the chair as the head basketball coach at the University of Memphis is going to be relevant within the city because of people love their Tigers.
This is true.
Line.
Yes,
they love their Tigers. This is the city's team, and so whether it's me, you, John Joe, just you take a normal person, when I say just a student off the street and put him in the head coach, it's going to be relevant because that's who people are going to, that you're the head coach of the city's team.
Exactly.
So that being said, when that happens, you have a bullseye on your chest in a sense that whether it's your team because you are. You're expected to do a lot, and other teams want to impeach you. I mean, that's their biggest game of the year. Or as an individual, you've got to make sure that you're holding yourself responsible and accountable of leading this team for the city. And I think those are things that it's a constant. It's not an easy deal. It's a lot of responsibility. It's time consuming.
I can believe it.
But as I said, it's a gift.
Right.
And you've got to enjoy it every day because it could be taken away at any split second. And the second you stop recognizing the privilege and the honor it is to sit in that chair and to be the head coach of the city's team, then it's time to move on.
That's a wonderful outlook. I see that. So I hear that Barton has gotten a knee injury. How does that change your immediate lineup strategy? Are you having to make some quick moves before things get started?
Well, Will's got banged up. I expect him to be back pretty soon.
Okay, that's great.
It's a minor thing. We're fortunate that it's minor.
Right.
And because of the time period that we're in our preseason practices, he's not missing any game time. But facts are, it is a physical game. Guys are doing things with their bodies that probably wasn't made to do. The way they're jumping and running and flying in the air and everything. So there's very times you can get, bruised, bang, you knock on wood that we stay healthy, but, that's why you do everything you can to be preventive, whether it's strength and conditioning, nutrition, stretching, taking care of your body, resting. I'm a big believer in that mental freshness is just as important as physical freshness because you feel better mentally sometimes. So active rest is important.
Right.
But that being said, we're fortunate that it was nothing serious, very minor, and he'll be back. He'll be back in no time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Is it hard to get the guys to rest like they're supposed to, eat the way they're supposed to?
Well, because as you could probably understand, in high school, you could just, you're in a boom. You had kind of much of a regimented schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had classes all day, and if you went home, I don't know if you played sports or not, but you understand. Then you did your activity, and then go home, and you're probably you're under your parents' roof, and you probably got to go to bed by a certain time and everything else. Well, when you get to colleges, time management's the biggest issue.
Oh, is it?
And so you're on your own. You don't have someone there waking you up, getting out of bed. You don't have in a classroom setting. You don't have you're pretty much on your own. So you've got to be able to manage your time and being able to get, when you have the time to be able to get rest, not staying up to 2 or 3 in the morning because no one's forcing you to go to sleep.
Exactly.
You've got to discipline yourself.
Yeah.
And making sure, because no one's there cooking you meals, that you're getting proper nutrition and not just getting fast food. And
which is easy to do.
And quick,
yeah.
And maybe even inexpensive, which I understand. But part of it is you've got to take care of your body. And especially when these student athletes are expending the amount of calories and the wear and tear and miles are putting on their legs, they've got to really be extra careful in nutrition and preventive measures.
Okay, well, something else I'm interested in. How do you guys prepare for a game? How do you personally prepare for a game? And then maybe do you guys have some things that you guys do as a team? Or
Well, we watch a lot of film. We want to have proper preparation, prevents poor performance.
Right.
And we want to make sure we're prepared. We're doing things, to give our team the best chance to win. But a lot of time we talk about we don't want to focus on the opponent. We want to focus on us.
Right.
Me personally, I like to be able to get a workout in myself before the game time. So get a run in or a 30-minute run or something like that just to get a sweat in. So I'm more clear and
maybe
calm
relaxed.
Because when you go into that environment and there's 18,000 screaming people,
right?
It's not, it's very easy, and referees and and there's, like you said earlier in the interview about expectation.
Yeah,
it's very easy for things to come out sideways if you're built up with tension,
right?
And when I say sideways, things can come out sideways to the media, to your player. I mean, just so it's important that you go in with a clear mind frame, so you're having inner calmness,
right?
And you're able to make good decisions.
Okay. That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. So, do you guys I just know from playing sports myself, being on teams, do you guys ever go out together? Do you have dinner? Do you talk?
I'm a big team guy. Everything we do as a team, we win together, we lose together.
Right.
Everything's about togetherness. Everything's about we're in this as a unit. We're unified. So we do a lot of team dinners together. We go out and do community service together. Try to do as much as we can together. On the other hand, I mean, guys are, it takes time. That's not an easy thing, as you recognize when you're building a team. It doesn't happen overnight. Not everyone's going to get along all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're spending more time with your own team than you do with your own families. So it's like brothers and sisters. People are going to get on each other's skin, and people are going to get annoyed with each other. They're not going to like me at times, and that's just part of it. So, but as it would be with your own family, even when you're frustrated, you still love them.
Right.
And it's the same type of thing as that respect factor, and that's what you're looking at.
Okay. As a coach, what do you stress the most? I know every coach is not the same. You said you're big on resting. Are you?
I believe in I believe we've got to do our job here, making sure that we give our young student athletes, our young men, every opportunity for them to succeed on and off the floor, and that we teach them about responsibility, accountability, doing things the right way, understanding what's right and wrong, understanding what principles is, understanding what standards are, so that when they leave here, they're prepared to enter society and be a very productive member of society. And if God willingly, they're good enough to play in the NBA and make a lot of money, and they can play 10 years in the NBA, well, if they're that fortunate, they still got another 60, 70 years to live their life after basketball. I mean, life doesn't just shut down. I mean, you still got to live, and you still have to be a productive member, and those are some of the lessons that we're hoping to teach them, not just bookwork stuff, but also real life stuff too.
Okay. Another question I wanted to ask, there's been a bit of confusion surrounding one of your players, Jalen Kendrick, being suspended. Would you mind
Jalon,
yeah. Would you mind briefly touching on that?
Yep. And I'm glad because I want to mention two names, because people think it's Jalen. It's Jalon Kendrick, and people think Tarek. It's Tark Black. So Tark. So when people the
names, Jalon and Tark.
Yeah, Jalon and Tark. So that way their parents aren't.
Right. I understand. Yeah.
But here's the situation with Jalon. It's a personal situation right now. I know there's a lot of confusion, and I can understand that. And I'm going to give you a general understanding, but my first and foremost, everything that we want here is about the student athlete's welfare. I want to do what's best for the student athlete. It's not about the students, but the student athletes, about them as a human being. That's one. Secondly, we are, if there's anything with the NC2A or with against the law, discipline will come from myself and within the university council, and talking to the appropriate people. If it's anything that's an internal manner, I determine the discipline. Right. And that's where it is right now. We're in an internal manner. I say that, and I want to always protect the kid, obviously, because I think I want to do that because I care about, again, student athlete welfare is my first and foremost. So, but right now, once the issue is resolved, we will then revisit the situation and go from there.
All right, then. That sounds great. So for yourself and the team this year, what are some goals? Of course, it's to get to the tournament, the Final Four, but what are some maybe internal goals that you have for yourself as a coach and for the team as a whole? A
lot of people have asked about the goals. My thing is I want us to play hard, compete, play with a passion, have us play with a sense of urgency, play with such energy and enthusiasm every possession. Right. And if we do that, I think the result will take care of itself. And that's where I focus, like we talked about, focusing back on us, not the opponent.
Okay. Well, Mr. Pastner, that is all I have for you
Okay, well,
today.
you did a great job. What year are you in
Thank you so
school?
much. I'm a senior.
You're a senior? Okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
And your major is journalism?
Right, yes, sir,
Awesome. Well,
broadcast
congratulations to you. She'll be a future star. And,
Thank you.
And she just hopefully not forget about us when she's on
Of course
Sports
not.
Center or wherever else, ABC, NBC, CBS, whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize how big this is for me.
Good. Well, I'm glad to be able to help out.
On behalf of the Conversation team, I appreciate you and good luck on this season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, how was that?
That interview was amazing. Josh Pastner is such a pleasant person to interview.
Let me go ahead and tell you. This is the future Pam Oliver right here. All right?
Thank you.
Oh,
So tune in with us next month because Josh actually has a pretty big interview himself.
that's right. I have an interview with the comedian and playwright Irma Johnson. Be sure to tune in next month. And for The Conversation, I'm Joshua Bolden.
And I'm Jasmine Van. Be sure to check us out on theconversation.weebly.com.
That's it.